G'day folks, well today, or this weekend, I wanted to do up this edger. Parts haven't turned up for it, so have to give that one a miss. Also wanted to do something with this slasher, but waiting for a few bits and pieces to turn up. We're doing something a little bit special with that. So down to this 70s Victa mower, late 70s. It's got electronic ignition, so I'm just going to get a very sympathetic restoration. That means sort of minimum repainting. I'll redo all the black parts. The rest of it looks pretty good. You'll be surprised how good this original body paint comes up, so leaving that. Original decals are there. I might get new ones, but I'll have to get that later on. Engine turns over nicely, so it'll just be a really thorough tidy up rather than full-blown restoration. So let's get cracking.
So, thought before we do anything to it, I just might see if it tries to start. I've made up some 2-stroke fuel. I haven't shaken it yet. 25-to-1 mix in these things. Don't let anyone tell you that you need 50-to-1 with a special oil, because that's what Victa marketed at one point. Can't tell me that it's going to get properly lubricated on half the amount of oil. Anyway, this hasn't had fuel in it for a very long time. There's a little bit of dried oil in the bottom, but we'd found some newsprint stuffed in here when I bought it back at the tip. It looked like 90, so under the dust this paint looks really shiny, so I'd say it's sat around in someone's shed since the 90s. We'll turn the fuel tap on, we'll see if we get any fuel flow, because the fuel filter's probably choked with oil. There's a little brass filter that sits on top of the tap there. Nothing spectacular. Fuel tap's on. We get any? Oh yeah, we've got a bit of a fuel leak happening, so we must have fuel flow. Oh, plenty of fuel flow. Our O-ring here's a bit sad. I don't know if it's priming or not. Won't worry too much about that leak just at the moment. You bugger off. Alright, we'll just put it on the run position. Just want to see if it starts. Bugger off. I'll try and start actually. I think it fired. So, I want to pull the engine off for the time being, just so I can tidy up the frame and repair anything that needs actually repairing on it. Let's undo this snorkel first, hose, whatever you want to call it. Zip it off to the side. Now, which way do I want to roll it? If I do it fuel cap side down, I might leak any fuel. Underneath you got one 1-inch nut, and I haven't got an impact socket that's that big. Come have a look from this side, sweetie. of spray on. Started to move. Try again. Ah, we lost battery. Huh. We need another battery. Okay. How much is in this battery? That's a bit tight, that one. Oh, that one's flat as well. Oh, I'm not going to charge the battery, so. Well, this one's got some charging, but it's only a little battery. 2.5 amp hour battery, this one. Alright, I got him done. We might, I don't know, the nut's in alright condition. I'll just run a white brush over that thread before putting them back together. Alright, these are 5/8 bolts. Don't lose these ones though, because they're a funny thread from memory. They could even be a funny size and they just 5/8 socket fits them. But someone told me it's not your everyday thread, so whether that's true or not is another thing. Get out of there, you little bugger. No, hang on. You can come off. You can come off. You can come off. Right. Get our washers. See how we go. I might just wire brush in here. Put some black body, underbody sort of paint. See how carried away I get. Something that's probably going on for the better part of 40 years old, it's not in bad shape. I'll just move this plate out of the way. Put it away safely. And our engine's off there. Now I'll just put this away somewhere safe and we'll be back in a moment to pull the rest of it apart. So I'm just cleaning this base up. I don't want to get too carried away. I'm not planning on repainting it. But I will put a nice clear coat over the original green paint that's left behind, just to bring back some of the shine, you know. I don't know whether I'll keep this one at the end or not. I'm pretty sure these had the original commando decals on the top too, so if I can find someone reproducing them, I'll buy one and update further on, or later on down the track. Right. So I'll just carry on cleaning this and we'll see the end result in a minute. So that's about as clean as I'm going to get it. Looks pretty good. Just going to leave it now to dry sort of overnight and I'll get the clear coat onto that tomorrow. So, some people don't like this sort of restoration. Personally, I don't like patina sort of builds, but in this instance, since there's so much good original paint for an early Victa like this, not early, but Victa of its age, I think we should just leave it alone. And one interesting aspect of this base is, this must have been as they were getting ready to start making power torque engines, because it's pressed here, so the difference between 2 and 4 stroke Victas was this part was cut out, but the power torque also used the 4-stroke bolt pattern, so they would have just cut that out. But they must have been as they were getting ready to start using power torque engines, because the mounting lug off to the side for the power torque engines is pressed in there, just no hole drilled in it. So sort of seeing that, wondering why there isn't a mark out for the exhaust exit, but obviously the tooling didn't allow for it or something.
So what we've got here is some satin clear. Got cold this morning. Idea is to get a pretty thorough coat over the whole lot. And we'll put a coat on, then put the height adjustment lever down so we can get in behind here a bit better and get a coat on everything. More just to preserve what's there than anything. Bugger off. Anyhow, hopefully this can hasn't dried up. It's still good. I get a little bit over the decals so they don't peel off as quickly. Like that one on the front's nice and original. Well, I didn't want to mess with this thing too much, if you know what I mean. So underneath, it's just had a quick wire wheel and a coat of black paint. Originally, underneath would have been the same as the frame colour. I did find remnants of that paint. Anyhow, that's just more to seal it up. So the base is starting to get a little bit flaky in this corner where they commonly rust out, so got to it in time anyway. Alright, start cleaning up other bits. Okay, so I've been a little bit unwell in this video, sort of dragging on. It's taken a couple of weeks to put together. So while I've been, not feeling that great, I've been spending a couple of minutes here and there just doing a few little bits and pieces. So what I've done is I've just cleaned the wheels, put them back on with some grease on the axles, repainted these handlebars. They look pretty good, better than they did anyway. And we've got our blade disc here. I just chucked some paint on it after wire wheeling it and put some new blades on it. So that's all good. So now, all we have left to do is to clean this engine up. Now we know it runs well and it doesn't really need any work at all. I really wanted to paint this top cover, but the problem is the 4 screws that hold the top on, these screw holes like to hold a lot of water and the screws are absolutely flogged out. So there's not a lot I can do about that at the moment. I do have a spare one and I can just about guarantee the same problems happen. So anyhow, for the time being, we'll just clean this engine up as best we can. All that basically needs to be done maintenance wise is maybe the O-ring on the carby cover here, and what's our air filter like? The air filter's nearly new, so I'll just leave that alone as well. All in all, this is a machine that's in pretty good shape. The starter rope's not even that bad, so we'll get it really clean and we'll start putting them back together and give it a go. Alright, a little bit of degreaser. We're not going to pressure wash it, just give it a bit of a hose off. Oh, this engine has done so little work. Usually these things are caked with oil and crap on the bottom. This thing is still really clean. So I'm just going to give it basically a really quick hose off. Leave that soak a couple of minutes. I've got it everywhere. Cool. We'll be back in a moment and we'll rinse this stuff off. Alright, we'll give it a quick rinse off. I love it when an engine's gets clean right off the bat. A lot less work for me. That'll do it, I think. No, we're all done. Alright, take this back down and refit it, I suppose. One dog power.
at about 4 horsepower. There we go. And a couple of bolts from underneath. Can be a little bit tricky, but I like to put a couple on while it's the right way up, so it holds it in that right spot. Makes life a little bit easier when you roll it over to do them up. The engine doesn't fall back off. There's one. Back ones. Attach our air hose, snorkel, whatever you want to call it. Oh, we've got some dried grass in our fresh paint on the handlebars, Tilly. How did that happen? Huh? Don't need to ask who knocked it over. Right, flip it over and we'll do up the bolts underneath. Noisy. Sorry, headphone users. I cleaned these nuts up with wire brush and the drill the other day, and then just put some WD-40 on them to clean them up nicely. Right, that's them. Haven't got an impact socket that's 1 inch, so anyway, that one will do the job. This is a one-way washer. One that says nut side goes, guess what, on the nut side. Bit of luck. This will go straight on without spinning the engine too much. Like that. Beautiful. Don't want to go overboard with it. Just get them nice and snug. Too loose, you'll flog the centre of the disc out. Too tight, you squash the washer and crack it in half, and then it goes loose and flogs the centre of the disc out. Righto. We'll flip it up in a minute and replace that carb seal and give it a run. Alright. There's our jet. When you pull these apart, especially on the machine, you want to watch you don't drop the float and needle, because you'll never find it again. There's a float and a little needle in there. There's our O-ring. It's a little bit flattened, it was leaking. I just put this new one on for the sake of $1. A little bit of preventative maintenance, I suppose you could call it. Good opportunity to clean out inside the bottom of the carb. Float bowl, I suppose the technical term is. I'll just make it up to go along. Alright. Now, there's a little line on here that says line must be horizontal. That'll do it. Put our fuel line back on. Now we'll go and put some petrol in it and take it for a spin. So, time for a cold start. I've also realised I forgot to put on the height adjustment spring that goes here. And our fuel on. Do we go and start or do we go and run? We'll go and start today. So our height adjustment spring's fitted now. So all that does is aid when you try and lift the height up. The spring will help pull the mower up a bit, makes it just a little bit less heavy. It's a good looking old machine, almost 40 years old, and a little bit of TLC. It'll hopefully go for another 40. Unfortunately, whoever ends up with it probably won't look after it. But for now, I'll keep it for myself. Thanks for watching.